you want a Porsche and you have about $100,000 to spend. These go for 90 to 100K, and the question is this actually the best Porsche you can get for sub 100K if you care more about street and canyon driving rather than going to the track? That's what we're going to answer today. This is a 2016 Porsche Spyder from the 981 generation, and we're powered by the 3.8 liter naturally aspirated flat six, making 375 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque, which is actually 10 horsepower less than the GT4. It's the same engine from the 991.1 Carrera S. We're weighing in just a little bit over 3,000 pounds at 3,040. Of course, we have strut front and rear as we do in all Boxsters and Caymans. And unlike the 981 GT4, which uses the GT3 front suspension, the Boxster Spyder uses the standard Boxster GTS suspension, so you're going to have better compliance. It also, of course, has less aero. You have an LSD and Porsche torque vectoring, which just breaks the inner rear wheel as standard, and only 2,500 were built worldwide, with just over 800 in the US. This one is optioned in GT Silver with Spyder Classic interior, that's the red and silver trim, leather wheel and shifter, auto dim mirrors, roll bar painted in the exterior color, wheels in silver, red carbon buckets, pedals in aluminum, and Bose stereo. And I gotta say, this really looks the part. I love this double bubble in the rear. It is just so sexy and classy. And in this spec, it is very much the gentleman's sports car. The pedals looking really nice. The whole interior is just really well done. The owner installed heat seating on these Porsche carbon buckets, and it of course is a 981 interior, very purpose built, and I really dig this red interior. It works quite well. Normally red interiors are too bright for me, but they use it sparingly and just as accents, which I think makes it look the piece, especially with the silver paint. No PASM, we have fixed dampers, and we're just going to throw it into sport mode. Sport Plus does auto rev match. We're going to match our own downshifts, and we've opened up the Porsche Sport exhaust. Oh! Oh, there we go. Rotation on throttle already. The second or third quarter. We are in for a good time, boys. Not sure if you can tell, there's a bit of tint on the windshield, which makes the actual road seem not so clear. Apologies for that. Ah, beautiful Porsche brakes. Still have that nice modern solidity. Steering is actually telling me what's happening at the front end, despite using E-Pass. Ooh, a little bit of push right there. Strut suspension in the front. And the chassis actually feels relatively stiff for a convertible. That's the thing with Porsche. When you go with the Boxster rather than the Cayman, you don't pay much of a penalty by going with the drop top, because you still retain a lot of the rigidity, not quite the same degree, but you don't feel a loss of rigidity as much. And then also the weight, still weighing pretty close to 3,000 pounds. And first impression of this versus a GT4 is that this is so much more compliant. This really is optimized for the street, for the canyons. The owner also has a 991.2 GT3, but that car is very much race car in your face, you know, a bit sharper, a bit more eggs you on, if you will. Whereas this thing, let me give you a pull first. Even though this isn't a proper GT3 engine like in the GT4 RS, and even though this isn't quite the same 8,000 RPM screamer as in the 718 GT4, it's still a plenty characterful little engine. Revving out to 7,500 RPM. Beautiful sound with the Porsche Sport exhaust opened. That brake pedal feel. Even when you get the slightest hint of ABS, it immediately tells you. Just as I was cresting ever so slightly there. It's willing to rotate with you. And you gotta love that, because normally these cars feel so clinical. But I love the balance here, because this car, it's easy to drive, it's communicative enough. Even with the E-Pass, you're getting a very direct and accurate front end that also has a little bit of feedback. Not quite as much as, let's say, a 718 GT4. And it's been too long since I've driven a 981 GT4 to comment on how this compares to that. But the steering would not bother me. This is still Porsche steering at the end of the day. The transmission as well, it's very much a 981 transmission, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I've driven multiple examples of 981s in manual, and some of them feel tighter than others. A big part of that is going to be things like mileage. But it's a very direct manual shifter. There's no ambiguity of gates. Getting from gate to neutral to the next gate has a nice clean delineation. Mechanical enough without being overly notchy, and if I had to nitpick, this has always been my issue with the 981 and even the 718 shifters, that there's a lot of tilt. It's not super long, but just the level of tilt feels a little bit unnatural to me. But I'm sure it's something you quickly get used to. What I find very interesting is how the inputs over the years start directionally changing and converging. So the 981, when you drive this versus a 987, things like the steering ratio being a bit quicker or the brake pedal having this firmness is very much in the middle compared to, you know, if 987 is here, 981 is here, and then 718 is here, there definitely is a continuum, a spectrum. And the brakes here have this nice, relatively modern solidity, not quite to the same degree as a modern 718 or 991 or 992 even. But if you guys have done sim racing, it has that nice solidity to it where it's more pressure rather than distance of the pedal, like potentiometer pedals versus load cell pedals. One more pull. If you don't care about the track, you want that drop top experience, you still want a focused and special feeling sports car that, you know, doesn't compromise, and sure, the engine doesn't have the same level of character and not the same level of output as, let's say, a 718, but you have this optimized nature for an incredible driving experience for the street. You have the compliance that, you know, with the GT4, it can feel a little bit harsh for the street at times. This one is more compliant, more comfortable. You have the convertible experience. You go on your favorite canyon road where the weather is beautiful like this, and it's just such a special experience. Could the engine pull harder and rev a little bit higher? Sure. But when you have the modern Porsche inputs, you have the brilliant throttle response, the really easy to modulate direct braking, the steering that is also just pinpoint precise, and a glorious engine right behind you with that drop top experience and good chassis rigidity. It's like all the basics, all the fundamentals are done right. And I think this is probably one of the best Porsche driving experiences you can have for the street, sub 100K. Big shout out to the owner Hugh for letting me review his car. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabbalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.